Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know the drill. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH_sports. All right, so I wanted to show you a video about liquidity. I'm going to use two examples, Novak Djokovic, and this is one of his cards that was on fire. I just wanted to highlight the issues of liquidity. And there's another player as well. But before I do, I wanted to show you the concept of how liquidity is a problem in the collectible space. And I see people throwing down all this money in sports cards today. And I'm thinking to myself, a whole lot of them are going to be left holding the bag. And I believe that some of these guys are no longer going to be sports cards, or they're not going to be as aggressive as they are. Anyways, and it all comes down to the concept of liquidity. All right, I like reading older books or just looking at concepts from the past, because that saying by George Santayana, those that don't know their history are condemned to repeat it. And this is why I have many arguments with different groups of people, whether they're high IQ or not. Lately, it's been physicians in my family, my wife's family, that fail to look at history. I look at history, so I get into these heated discussions, and they use emotion, I use logic. That's the difference. I try to be as unbiased in my approach to my research. Anyways, disadvantage, this is in the book, Comparing Real Estate to Other Investments. And this is just from a Google book search. Anyone can basically look at this. Disadvantages. Collectibles suffer from a general lack of liquidity. There's no liquid market. To sell, you have to find a private buyer, a dealer, or use an auction house. In some cases, however, you may be able to borrow against your authenticated, original, rare masterpieces. That said, the art itself will not generate the income necessary to pay either the interest or the principal of the loan. You could substitute art with sports cards. This book was written in 2000. So I'm looking for just another issue of liquidity. And this is the survival guide for money smarts. And I think it was written in 2017. So it's a little newer. And over here, collectibles are not very liquid. The only way to get your money back is to find someone who wants to buy them. If you can't, then you keep holding onto the items, okay? Now, this was in Kiplinger's Personal Finance, October 1988. Some of you weren't even alive. I was too, so I was not in the collectible space. I see the age group 35 to 44. Some people in that age group may have been involved in collectibles, but not many. Selling is slow. This is part of the article. It would be nice if you could march your toy soldier collection to the bank for quick cash, or count on it to defend the riskier portions of your investment portfolio. But that's not how it works. When it comes time to sell, you're not dealing with the national marketplace keeping regular business hours 5 days a week. Your potential customers consist of other collectors, dealers, auction houses, sometimes museums and galleries. Each offers some advantages, but a speedy transaction isn't one of them. For their part, other collectors are mostly looking for individual pieces, not entire collections. Selling your holdings piece by piece can take a maddening amount of time. If you go to dealers, you may get a faster sale, but you'll be selling at a wholesale, which is often half of the retail price. At an auction, you risk the vagaries of the marketplace. You need at least 2 buyers in the audience before you can hope to make money, unless the auctioneer allows you a reserve. Galleries and museums are long shots, seeking only the very best examples of a given collectible, and then not that often. You'll probably decide it's better to keep your toy soldiers to fight another day. Granted, this was written in 1988, and this was when the collectibles market started to slowly pick up. I did some charts, and from my reading, the collectibles market picked up in 87. Shortly after the crash, people wanted to diversify. It was after the S&L crisis too, and Greenspan was lowering rates. So thus creating a decent environment for high-end collectibles. And that ended in 1994 when the Fed jacked up all these interest rates, when there was a strike in 94, and the supply came home to roost, which outweighed the demand. So what does this mean for today? So I'm just looking at Novak Djokovic, and as you guys know, and this is at PSA's website, as you guys know, he didn't take the jab, and he couldn't play in the Australian Open. There was a chance he would, but then he just got deported the other day. Really unfortunate because he is one of the top players out there. And this card, the 2007 number 16, and I've been eyeing this card lately. It's not updated for this month. I think one of the sales was like $1,000 the other day. There's some with the patch, which is selling higher. Regardless, just look at this chart over here. Last year, it topped out 2,700, then it came back up in September, 2,600, okay? The number one problem is lack of liquidity. You go from 2,700 to 1 month to 815. I mean, that's unreal. Okay, let's just look at that. But other sales, August, 2,200, 2,500. And then all of a sudden, we have a dip. And also there are rumors that he can't play in the Australian Open. So this crashes to 585. This is the number one criticism of collectibles. There's no liquidity. Like when you look at the S&P 500, you're not going to get close to a 60% haircut in the whole index within this short amount of time. It takes about 14 months for that to happen. That's what happened in, not 14 months, this is like maybe 18 months. It took 18 months for that to happen. And then you're telling me this thing could go from 2,700 to 850 just like that, and then it could go back to 2,500. Like, what is this? This is the wild, wild west. For me, as a conservative investor in the space, I am more aggressive in the option market when it comes to the VIX options or the S&P 500. I trade them. I eyeball it basically every day. And the bid ask, meaning the amount to buy versus the amount to sell, that spread is very narrow. Over here, you don't know what the hell you're going to sell this for if you buy it. Obviously, you buy low and you sell high. So when I see stuff like this at this point in the market where things have overheated, I've made a decent amount on most of my sports cards. About 70% are winners. When I see stuff like this, do I want to be spending a lot of money? And my answer is no. I know some people are aggressively spending. I'm not sure if they have viewed the variable of liquidity in their investing criteria. I don't think most people are looking at the Federal Reserve, but throw away the Federal Reserve. Are they looking at liquidity? And my understanding of some of these guys is no, they're not. And it's a very basic concept in my opinion. All right. One card that I'm also eyeing is one of Zach Greinke's rookie card. This sold the other day for $330. I bought a few raw cards because I saw PSA 10 pop 7. Now most of the raw cards on eBay stink, FYI. So I was trying to find the best of those cards, and I'm not going to send them out to grading until PSA reduces their price. And if they don't reduce the price, then I'm left holding these cards, which is fine. I didn't spend an arm and a leg. I didn't spend $2,500 on that. But I want to show you this thing about Zach Greinke on PSA's website. But yeah, it'll take a minute to load, I believe. Okay, let me look at the PSA 10 price. There's only one price that's listed. They didn't update this. So I guess PSA is a little slower in updating their charts. Sold in September for $653. Now in the off season, sold for $330. So number one, this card has decreased more than half within a span of a few months. Secondly, who knows how many cards are at PSA still for a Greinke, and how many people have in their collection. They're just waiting for the price of Zach Greinke cards, not Zach Greinke cards, but the cost of grading to go down significantly. Once you do that, you may see more of these cards come, and then this $653 went to $353, like I showed you, and then it may go down to $100 in the coming years. You get more PSAs out there, more PSA 10s. So this is the issue with this market. Yeah, some people understand this, but still, I look at some of the behavior of some of these individuals, not a, I'm not hating on them. I'm just looking at it like, you're involved in an illiquid market in a time where the market has gone crazy. And the only thing you can basically rely on is if the player you have speculated in exceeds expectations. If the player exceeds expectations, you may be making some decent money. But if the person doesn't exceed expectations, going into a rising interest rate environment and probably a more turbulent economic situation in the coming years, you're probably going to be left holding the bag. And that's when, like I said, I want to be aggressively throwing down thousands of dollars. Right now, I'm not. I just look at this liquidity and see how these prices are going down just like that. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.